Sí,
essentially
Very good evening to all of you. I have just talked to my friend, Honorable Kisia Jabin, the special prosecutor. He tells me that he's on his way to his office. So in about 20 minutes, yes, he should join us. So what I'm going to do is that while waiting for him to join us in about 15 to 20 minutes time, I want to use the time to do something with you. So I have just received what do you call it? Questions from one of you from UPSC, right? Being like a mock that they did. So we will look at some of them, but before we start looking at them, I will give you the opportunity. If there are some practical advice that you would like to be given with respect to any matter pertaining to your examination. So if you need any particular assistance, let's make use of the notice for Mr. Ajaben or join us. So if you want to speak, just raise up your hand. I'll mention your name and then you start speaking, okay? And the account that I am using, it can take only 300 persons, so that those who are in the waiting room, okay, I'm going to disable the waiting room. The fact is they cannot come. So if Mr. is ready to join us, they have to. When Mr. is ready to join us, I may have to remove one of you from the room so that I can get the space for him, because the account takes only 300 and it cannot take more than that. Okay, so whose hand is up? Let me see, whose hand is up? Whose hand is up? Can you mention, put your name in the chat so that I'll just type and pick you. What kind of questions should we expect? Okay, Gloria. I have told you before that as far as I am concerned, the kind of examination that you are going to do, I could not put my hand on my chest, right? And say that question A or question B or question 1 or 2 is going to come. I could not do that. On the other hand, I am very happy to advise you that the 6 examinable areas: Ghana legal system, constitutional law, law of contract, law of tort, criminal law, and land law. Endeavor to learn all the topics. If there is any particular topic or any concept you are not clear, feel free to seek assistance from me or from any of your lecturers or anybody who understands better than you. For me, that is a better way to prepare for this type of examination, right? And then you also heed the advice that will be given you concerning how you should approach the exams, especially the written component. Yeah, so once you stick to that, I think that you should be fine. Yeah, so okay, Gag hand is up. So Gag, you can speak now. Gag, you can mute yourself.
Hello.
Yes.
Hello.
Yes.
So good evening.
Good evening, Gag.
Yes, so the last time you promised of briefing us on how best you answer the following question. I think we did for SP, how to answer the SP question.
Yes. Yes, I will do I'll do a recording probably today or tomorrow on that. And because you have like a very limited time, I don't want to use this for that. So, but I'll do it. You'll get it. I'll let you get something before here tomorrow. Thank you. So for now, because Mr. Kisia Jaben will be joining us very soon to take us through the criminal law as I indicated to you, the time we may have, it may be probably less than 15 minutes. So let me come back to you on that separately. Thank you. But if you have any other question, we could think through together. Okay, Fatima, when cases are cited, how can you make them stand out for the marker to see? Okay, yeah, so Fatima, Ajua has answered you. I have given you advice, and that advice is a secret I have gathered from experienced examiners and markers, right, over the years, that let your authorities stand out. So how do you let your authorities stand out? One of two ways. You could decide to write your authorities in capital so that they'll stand out, or if that sounds a bit odd, since you are using all small letters, then you could simply underline the authorities so that they will stand out. So that is very important. And the reason for taking this guidance, serious is that it may well be that a student is, for example, are you saying that you cannot hear me? Can you confirm in the chat if you can hear me, please? Because one Kwabna is saying that no voice. Can any of you confirm in the chat if you can hear me, please? All right, okay. Then Kwabna, do something about your settings. I think I'm audible. Yeah, so you see, it may well be that your handwriting probably is quite rough, and I don't encourage you for it to be rough. Make sure that it's properly done. And it may also well be that your introduction and all that is not very inspiring and all that. If the examiner is giving up on you, right, and he runs his eye through and see that you have underlined authorities and all that, it will change his impression to take what you've written serious and to look closely at it. So that is advice I'll give you. And that is why I will encourage you to let your authorities stand out, okay? Okay, so that is answer. Let me take other questions. You can put up your hand if you want. That way you can also use the chat. So we are still waiting for Mr. Ajaben. I'm sure in a few minutes he should be calling me, and then once he calls me, I will have to put one of you in the waiting room so that they can get a seat. Because we have 300 spaces and we have just 9 people in the waiting room. So, okay, so is there any other thing that you'd like to, otherwise, let me open the UPSA question and we can work ourselves through some of them. As I keep telling you that no question is irrelevant, or no question is unimportant, so long as it falls within the examinable era, the 6 areas. Regardless of whoever said it or wherever it's coming from, it's still very helpful. Whose hand is up? Can we use black pen for the exams? Okay, that is a good question. Okay, Eddie, you can unmute yourself. Eddie Muhayo. Yeah. Eddie, ask you.
Hello.
Yeah, Eddie, I will allow you to.
Yes.
Don't switch off your mic. I just hold on. When I finish talking in a second, then you talk. Yeah. So somebody has asked a question. Can we use black pen for the exams? The answer is yes, but I will advise that let's do the traditional thing. The traditional thing is that we use blue to write, isn't it? So just use blue so that it's simple, because that is the usual thing that we do. Because usually markers may use red pen or black pen. So if the marker is, for example, using a black pen and you use a black, it's complicate matters. So use blue pen, okay? Use blue pen, and then because of the shading too, don't forget the type of pencil that they want you to bring. Yeah. Okay, so Dinah, your question has been answered. Yes, we now come to Idi Muhayo. Idi Muhayo, let's hear you.
Yes, Doc, save for constitutional and the Ghana legal system that really do not have very many cases. For causes like contract, torts, and the land law, and those causes that have so many cases, would it be okay? I mean, based on what the expectation of the examiners really is, that to just cite the principles and all of that, would that suffice? Especially seeing that there are so many cases. If you're able to analyze a problem that or question that you are asked, and then able to get all the principles, would that really able to remember the cases? Would that suffice? Will you get a pass mark? Would that take you to Makola, or you necessarily you have to get all these individual cases over 2,000 and all of that? All
right, Idi Muhayo, thank you very much. Before I answer Idi Muhayo, I think there's one practical question one of you has asked in the chat. That is Cecilia, that what kind of pencil is used for the exams? And Oscar Jones has replied quite rightly that HB pencils, we'll just go with the HB pencil. Okay, now we come back to Idi Muhayo, the issue of having too many cases and how do you manage the cases in producing your answer. My advice is that know how you utilize authorities, cases, especially to buttress your answer will depend upon whether it's an essay question or it's a problem-based question. The two are not the same. If it is an essay-based question, right? If it's an essay-based question, if the question, for example, is testing your knowledge regarding a particular principle or concept, its developments or problems associated with it, and so on and so forth, then you need to use as many cases as support your the principles that you're discussing. But we are also aware that one principle may have so many cases. So if you have a situation where one principle has got so many cases, what do you do? If one principle has, let's say, about 5 or 10 cases, you don't need to cite all the 10 cases. If you can cite 2 cases, assuming there are 10, and you can cite 2, I think that will suffice. Or even if you can even cite 1, so long as it really supports that principle, that will suffice. But then I would say that in terms of authorities, we have what we call the common authorities, the well-known authorities, and then the obscure authorities. If I say well-known authorities, that is to say that those case law, which are so notorious, so well-known by any student of that particular subject area, anybody who has studied that knows that particular case law, that when it is mentioned, he will not ask you, what did you say, and so on. You should use those well-known authorities, right? That should be used first, before if you have any obscure authority, which also support the principle, but it is not really common, as often cited in the usual discussion, before you use that. So let's take note of that. And then we come back to the other aspect of Idi's question. Must you state all the facts, the issues, and the decision in that particular case anytime you cite the case? Well, as far as essay question is concerned, you don't really need to do that. I'll call you back. Why? Online. Okay. You don't really need to do that. But for problem-based question, if you cited the case, and let's say that you cited the case not just because it supports a principle you are using, but also the facts of that case that you have cited are on all fours or materially the same as the particular problem that you have before you that you are discussing, then it will be prudent for you to tell us briefly the essential facts or the material facts of that case, and what the issue was, and then the conclusion or the holding of the court on that. And you use that to buttress your own analysis or your own conclusion or arguments which you are making. So that is what, but if, on the other hand, if the facts of the particular case that you have cited, it looks like the problem that you have, but there's some important distinction between that case and the problem that you have before you, then what you need to do is you are going to do what we call distinguishing, right? You are going to say that although this particular decision where this and this and this thing happened appears to be similar to this, but it is worthy to note that for us in that case, this situation was there. In the instant case or the instant problem, this is not there. And for that matter, the decision in that case should not be relevant in resolving the particular issue. So you have done the distinguishing. You are just trying to say that, yes, on the face of it, it appears that that case is somewhat similar to what you have before you. But upon a closer scrutiny, you can draw an important distinction, for which reason you do not think that that precedent should actually govern how you resolve the case you have on hand, okay? And again, let me emphasize that where you are dealing with the problem-based question, I've said it before and I'm saying it again, that your approach should be that you are like a lawyer, right? You are like a lawyer that someone has come before you with a rare problem. And for that matter, the lawyer does not, okay, the honorable, no, yes, it has really much more trend. I'm going to remove one of them so that I'll bring you in. Why? But I'm removing one. Me back off from so that you can come in. 1 second, but thank you. Unfortunately, the Honorable Special Prosecutor is standing at the door. We have reached the maximum capacity of 300. So who volunteer for me to remove you? The recording will be put on the YouTube when I finish, so that you can just play it back. I will introduce him, otherwise I will have just taken myself out, but if I go out too, you cannot come in. I'm the host. So who, if you want to volunteer, just put your name there and you'll be my friend. I will actually have friendship with you because you are making a sacrifice. Oh, Fatima, thank you. Fatima is my friend for the afternoon. Thank you, Fatima. So Fatima, just contact me and tell me that you are the one who made the sacrifice, okay? Okay. So Fatima is going, let me bring Mr. Adabin in. Let me use the enable waiting so that I can see him. Oh, somebody has come in. Let me see. Oh, no, but what the idea ever na? So, and then but my waiting room hold on why? Okay. Please, some of you have still come, so it's still 300. So one of you should still go out so that Mr. Kis, okay, Ziblim. Okay, thank you, Ziblim. No, but we're still 300. So, oh, still, we're still 300. Some of you should go as Salom. Those who go are just WhatsApp me, okay? You're making the sacrifice. It's still 300. We are still 300. So it means that there's still no space. Okay, thank you very much. So we have a 290. Thank you. I'm waiting for Mr. Chrissy to come so that I will. Once he comes in, then I can just release it. Then the rest you can still join. Okay, Ruby, thank you. Let me see. We're waiting for him to join. Yeah, so as he's joining, I was just making the point that when you are doing a problem-based question, in terms of using authorities and also stating the principles, don't tell us history of that particular area. It's not necessary when you're doing problem-based question. Problem-based question is supposed to be approached like a real lawyer solving a problem. When a client comes before you, the client doesn't care what the law used to be or what the law may be. What the client cares about is that currently, as he stands before you, in the light of the problem that he has brought before you, what is the position of the law? That is what the client is interested in. I think we still haven't had Mr. Kese in. Okay, so while waiting for the special prosecutor to join, I've seen that the Kobe, yeah, you can speak. Kobe. Kobe, you can, Kobe Bay Dumens, and you can mute yourself. Oh, he's gone. What's the problem? Let's see. Mimi is out. Okay. The YouTube name, just an associate dapa. But what does it try home? Oh, and my waiting room to me who dinner and mema or bem. You're trying to get on. Oh, me send the link in IBM. Okay, yo, okay. Let's see. Just 1 minute. Just trying to. Yeah, so while waiting, if you have something to bring up, you can just let us know. Where's this link? Let's see. Okay, how do we manage limited time giving for exams? Okay, Cecilia, my advice is that you need to, let's start from the essay question, right? First, you need to put your ideas together. You must have like your points. You know, you have to have like your points written down before you actually start developing. I don't know if it's the one. I don't know. K-I, is it the one? No, I think it's not come yet. Mr. Jaben is having difficulty, but I hope he is able to join us very soon. Okay, so another person has asked the question, how much is enough for an answer to your question? As in how many pages? Okay, so what do you call the question of quality versus quantity, right? In terms of how much is enough, I would say that there are two things. Somebody having a good handwriting, right, could write 2 pages or 1.5 page for an answer. And the person will get, let's say, a very high mark. Another person, let me see if it's come. No, it's not here. What is happening? Again. I think some, please, just a minute, I'm just calling him. Oh, sir. Oh, we got you. But I am mommy remove some microphone now. There be. Let me remove. I'm removing some of the people in the waiting room. Doors with ya. That things. But you ever say. Yeah, he's trying to come, but I think the system keeps bouncing. So I'm just removing all those in the waiting room. I'm not actually reporting. Remove, not report. Let's remove. Let's remove. So what is happening? Yeah, so I think I have to remove some. Let me just remove some of you. So that we can bring Mr. Kisi. Don't worry. Sorry, I'm just doing it arbitrarily. If you are removed, just play the YouTube recording. Because Mr. Kisi is not able to come, so I have to just remove as many as possible so that the system will allow him. Yeah, okay. So the waiting room. The waiting room, how many? I think I have to remove him. Sorry, it's still not coming, so I'm just trying to get some of those in the waiting room removed. We have 33 people, but otherwise the system will be bouncing when it tries. You remove and then you come back. No, I have to. Because if you don't, if you do that, This is. See, so problem. Bajo, aye. But there is an kaba waiting room home. Then waiting room hokra. These students almost all I've told them, so some of them should just I remove them and then they come back. But yeah, in Athens, maximum capacity is 300. They want to listen to you. Let me see. Okay, you into them. I'll call you back in a second, Eva. Okay, let's see. Ellen, do you have
Yes,
some?
boss.
Yeah, do you
I
have?
wanted to suggest that you if you could end the session. When you end the session, then we'll rejoin. He can join.
Oh, okay, the same. Okay, look at it. That's smart. Okay, all right. Okay, so I'm ending it. Those of you who will not be able to get the opportunity, probably when you come in is full, and play it back later. So I'm ending it, and then we will use the same link. But then now, okay, that's fine.